Joining me now, Republican Congressman Devin Nunes, ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, good to see you tonight. Thank you very much for being here. I want to ask you a couple of things. The first one I want to address is this issue of who will sort of be doing the president's defense. There's some discussion that some of your colleagues, perhaps Jim Jordan, John Ratcliffe, would be part of the defense of the White House. What's your understanding of what that's going to look like?
Well, my understanding is that the president has his legal team, and they've announced that legal team. What we're trying to do in the House is we're meeting to ensure that the Republicans in the Senate and the Democrats, if they'd like to have the information, have our information, and they also need to have the information about the witnesses that we were not able to call that we think are important to call if they are indeed going to go down the path of witnesses. So I think we will have some of our key people that will be ready and available for the Senate, like John Ratcliffe, who is a trained prosecutor, great litigator. Jim Jordan, you mentioned, maybe a few others that will be on call to help out if needed.
And what is their argument going to look like?
Well, you have to see what the Democrats' argument's going to be. If you actually look at the two counts that are there, obstruction of Congress, which to me makes no sense because they never even took their subpoenas to court, and then you have the other, which is escaping me now,
abuse of power,
because it changes all the time. Abuse of power, which it can't even be defined because they've moved from Russia to Ukraine to bribery to quid pro quo to now back to Russia today. And so, I think by me showing you that you can't even remember what it is because they change so often. And I know you have a lot more questions, but, one of the things that Mitch McConnell said there in your opening is that, this really needs to calm down because this has really become a house of cards. And I don't say that lightly, but you have the Speaker of the House basically accusing the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, who served very admirably for a long time, and is a Russia hawk, of somehow being under the control of Vladimir Putin. I mean, this is crazy town. This has gone totally nuts. That's why I say I don't say house of cards lightly. Okay. I think they're just trying to search for evidence that just isn't there.
So you heard in the intro also that Senator Susan Collins was responding to the new evidence that came through in a bunch of pretty sketchy notes that were written by Lev Parnas, a letter that was written by Rudy Giuliani saying that he wanted a meeting with President Zelensky and that he had the knowledge of the president in presenting this opportunity for a meeting. This is an interview that's going to air tonight on Rachel Maddow's program with Lev Parnas. And I want you to listen to what he said about what the president knew about these investigations into Biden and Burisma. Watch.
What do you think is the main inaccuracy or the main lie that's being told that you feel like you can correct?
That the president didn't know what was going on. President Trump knew exactly what was going on. He was aware of all of my movements. I wouldn't do anything without the consent of Rudy Giuliani or the president.
So what do you think about that?
Well, this is someone who's been indicted for major felonies. It's very odd that the Democrats have been playing cat and mouse with this guy. There's some talk that he's after an immunity deal, trying to get the Democrats to seek immunity. We've been going through his notes and phone records and all this stuff for the better part of a week. It doesn't seem like there's anything of any relevance in there. And, you have to remember, this is someone, as a matter of fact, I think I came on your show, Martha. This person accused me of being in Vienna. Him and his lawyers accused me of being in Vienna, meeting with Ukrainians in 2018 with him. I mean, this is someone who doesn't tell the truth. It's something that didn't happen. So this person has a real problem with the truth, not to mention he's been indicted. Very, very strange.
So, and we also talked back then about the fact that your phone number showed up with calls to him, to Lev Parnas, in a list of data numbers, and you said that you didn't recall speaking with him, or whether it was on your cell phone or your office phone. Have you figured out the answer to any of those questions?
And if you recall, that was brand new when that had come out when I came on your show.
That's
because
right.
I just didn't know the name, this name Parnas. So what I always like to remind people is we are dealing with people every day. We're an oversight committee. So we have incoming calls that come to my office, to my cell phone, et cetera, et cetera. And then,
Sure.
you know now that he had called my cell phone. And I didn't know his name. I didn't remember the name, but I did remember going back, looking at where I was at the time, because, you know, you can do that now. You actually know where you physically are. Checked it with my records.
Right.
And it was very clear. I remember that call, which was very odd, random, talking about random things. And I said, great, you know, just talk to my staff, and boom, boom, boom. And that's, which is
so there was no discussion about the
the
Ukrainian ambassador. Was there any discussion about the Ukrainian ambassador and the fact that she should be removed in that call?
Well, the first time I remember the name Yovanovitch, the ambassador, was not until this impeachment sham started. You have to remember what I would guess I would be interested at that time, because, and we still have an ongoing investigation into what the Clinton campaign, specifically Fusion GPS and others, who in Ukraine they were working with and why they were involved in the Russia hoax. And now the Democrats have denied that, but it is very clear that the Democrats were heavily involved in getting Ukrainians to talk about dirt and dig up dirt on Trump campaign officials.
And that is what Rudy Giuliani says. He was reaching out to President Zelensky to discuss, and a lot of that has brought us to where we are today as we watch these impeachment articles be marched across the Capitol.
And Martha, if I may, I think it's important to note, you know, now we're finding out that the former ambassador, you know, she had every right to express her personal opinions, but she was very supportive of the old regime, did not support Zelensky, you know, so this is... So, you know, I don't think there's any problem here. I don't even know what their argument is.
No,
have differences
I hear
in the
you.
United
It's a little
States.
creepy to hear people saying that she's being tracked and that they know where her phone is, and she's on her phone, she's off her phone, and you know, some of that is likely going to come up in this trial.
I would just say, welcome to my world. I mean, that's what the Democrats have been doing to me for the last 3 years. I mean, showing up at my house and, you know, attacking my family.
It seems like it's happening on both sides. Then, if that's the case. Thank you. At least on Lev Parnas' side, according to what we're seeing here. So thank you very much, Devin Nunes. Good to see you tonight.
Thank you, Martha.